There it is. The stage is set. Eagles Chiefs once again in the Super Bowl. I'm going to be giving you guys my prediction, my reaction to the game that they had against their opponents, how I think the Super Bowl will play out. I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. This is it, huh? Another rematch. Chiefs Eagles from 2 years ago. Hopefully it plays out different. This is what I had in my prediction. Well, I had the Bills winning here. I did think that Josh Allen's MVP season, well, I thought he was MVP outside of Saquon Barkley and Lamar Jackson. I think he was one of the better quarterbacks. He had a great year. I thought the Bills were going to do it. I thought they would beat the Chiefs finally in Arrowhead to finally get them to the promised land, to have a new winner, start a new era maybe for a new quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, one of the more likable dudes in the league. I thought this would play out this way. Obviously, it didn't. There was a lot of reasons as to why. So let's get into that. The Chiefs and the Bills game. It's really hard, man. Like, I understand that there's a lot of hate towards the Chiefs, and it's very understandably so. Every win looks a little off. It looks a little like I could point at that and be like, man, that was a bad call. That was a bad play. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? This looked like a first down. This didn't. They got to, it's real tic-tac there, And that's kind of the reason why a lot of the people hate on the Chiefs, as do I. I want to see something different. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. Last year we had a rematch, the Chiefs versus the Niners. This year we have another rematch, Chiefs versus the Eagles. It kind of like I said, it kind of sucks to see it. It takes away from the game of being like, man, football's here. I'm excited about it. But then you have another rematch, and it's like, are we gonna have the same two teams always in the finals? Is it gonna be like this every single year? And a lot of sports, they are like this. They are super predictable, so to say. But it kind of just hurts the game a little bit for me. So yeah, I think that the Eagles and the Bills, or the Chiefs and the Bills game, kind of played out that same type of way where it was a 50-50 game a lot of the time. I think the Bills had their opportunities. The Chiefs had their opportunities to continue to blow out the game. The Bills kind of stayed in it. I think the biggest takeaway for me is two things. Spagnola's defense is real as it gets. I think that guy, the fact that he doesn't have a job, he understands that what he has with the Chiefs, he might not get anywhere else as far as him being a head coach. I think that's why they kind of keep their coordinators for as long as they do. They saw it with Eric Bieniemy. He was there for a long time. He went off and he didn't perform. He didn't do as well as people thought. They brought in Matt Nagy, ex-Bears coach. Offense looks okay. Defense is one of the more things that they highlight the most, and that's what they do really strong. Obviously, it's not fair when you have Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, Trent McDuffie. Those are real pivotal pieces in why that defense succeeds. And I think that's kind of what it boils down to as far as them winning, that style of winning. Obviously, they have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. They still have really good players on the offensive side of the ball, but defensively, they're sound, they're solid. I think 95 is the biggest problem on the field. He's like Aaron Donald, but a bigger dude, heavy set dude. He does a lot, man. If you watch the game, you just look at number 95. He's doing a lot out there for his team, and it makes it very difficult for any other team to defend him, to guard him, to put him in situations to not succeed. Double team him, triple team him, whatever you're going to do, it doesn't always help. He finds a way. He splits guards. He splits the center and the guards. He gets in there, man. He just does his job, and he does it really well. So I think that's one takeaway. The defense is really good. The defense is kind of what doesn't get the most praise, but I think that's the reason why they do win. Because the offense isn't great. I think Patrick Mahomes is really good at getting out of the pocket and running for a couple yards. Obviously, they have some really good play calling. I think they have so many weapons that they're kind of all mid. But to the point where everybody's mid, you have to take care of everybody, right? So I call it mid because they're not superstars, but they make everybody kind of equal playing field where you have to take care of everybody because they can make a play. And it's not just one guy. Obviously, a lot of people would like to point the headlight towards Kelce because of who he is, who he's dating, and how long he's been doing it. Probably one of the greatest tight ends to ever do it. But Regardless, I think because they have so many mid-level receivers and running backs that you have to take care of everybody. You always have to be aware of somebody because the Chiefs kind of drop a play for somebody and they trust them completely to make that play. You saw with Samaje Perine on a big third down conversion. Nobody thought Samaje Perine was going to get that ball. Nobody thought he was going to get that first down to ice the game. But he did, and he did it. So that's kind of what the Bills have. The second thing for me is that a lot of people say in playoff football, a turnover costs you twice as much. But with the Chiefs, a flag costs you 3 times as much for me because every time the Chiefs have a really big third down, and it could be third and long, third and mid, third and short, whatever it is, they have a third down. The defense is like, oh my God, we're going to get off the field. We're going to get the offense or the ball back. There's a holding. There's a personal foul. There's a roughing the passer. There's this. There's that. There's holding. There's an automatic first down. And then next thing you know, 2 minutes later, the Chiefs score on that drive. So if any flag that you commit against the Chiefs is more than likely just going to end up in a touchdown. So it's very demoralizing for a defense to be like, oh my God, we did our job. We can get off the field, get our offense time to go, and get us points on the board. Then there's a flag, and you're out of it, man. They score a touchdown, and you're demoralized. You're like, oh my God, what do we have to do? Then you start complaining about flags, and you start complaining about referees. I do think Josh Allen he did get that first down. I think the refs were very unfair with how they spotted it. Obviously, one line judge had it as a fourth down. One line judge had it as a first down. I don't know what side had a better look, but I do think it was a first down. Unfair to not call that, but it is what it is. Now for the other side of the coin, Eagles Commanders. This won't be a long segment. I do think this one's kind of easy to kind of dissect and analyze because the Commanders obviously were a Cinderella story. Everybody loves a Cinderella story, an underdog. But I mean, they were great for how long they lasted. The opportunity was phenomenal. The outcome that people wanted to see didn't happen, so it was kind of disappointing. But I think the Eagles are just a better team. They're kind of dialed in right when you want them to be dialed in. The defense looks great. They had a couple injuries. I think Quinyon Mitchell went off. C.J. Gardner-Johnson maybe went off. There was another cornerback that went off. Don't remember exactly who, but that'll hurt them in the Super Bowl if they're not healthy. They have 2 weeks to recover. But yeah, I think these kind of games kind of boil down to tender, right? To how tenured they are during these type of games, how the team will adapt to this type of game. I think a lot of those people on that defensive side of the ball, on the Commanders, which is their strong side, which is the side that kind of let them down a little bit, they weren't ready for the occasion. You saw Luvu kind of get desperate. I think he had like 3 neutral zone infractions where he kind of jumped over to try to stop the tush push. It happened like 3 times. It was super embarrassing for him. I know he kind of laughed it off, but it was embarrassing. It was kind of hard to watch. Desperation does not look good on anybody, so that kind of demoralized them a lot. They were kind of like grasping at straws because they knew they couldn't stop it, but they tried, and that was kind of their attempt to do it, but it obviously didn't prevail. They didn't look good on the defensive side of the ball. The Eagles look great on offense, obviously through Saquon, through Jalen. People had question marks around Jalen's health because of the last game against the Rams where he kind of hurt his knee, bent it a little sideways, looked a little awkward. But they look great. Saquon looks phenomenal. Jalen looked good. A.J. Brown kind of got some touches on the ball. He looked great. Dallas Goedert continues to be that dude for Jalen Hurts when he needs a big play. He goes to Dallas a lot. But yeah, I mean, 55-28, I think the score was. It's not a pretty score. It's not a good-looking score for anybody. The Eagles look great. They look strong. Hopefully they continue to ride that strength, that wave of like confidence that they can win the Super Bowl. But that was kind of how I analyzed the Commanders versus the Eagles game. It just comes down to tenure. I think the Eagles were ready for it. Commanders weren't. So hats off to the Commanders. They had a great season. Catch them next year, they'll be a problem. Jaden Daniels will continue to be a problem. Hopefully they continue to add some more pieces to that defense. I think they look strong on offense. Their players made plays. The Eagles defenders just made different type of plays. They were punching the ball out. unfortunate. It's like that sometimes. Ball doesn't fall your way one too many times and you lose the game. Obviously, bad look, but that's how it played out. All right, now the big game, huh? Chiefs, Eagles, a rematch. What was the score last time? Like 36, 33, something like that. It was kind of like a 2-3 point game. It'll be, I think this time will kind of be different. I think one team will find a way to get their offense cooking. I think the Eagles rely too much on Saquon right now, and that's a big red flag for me. It's kind of like when the Niners relied so much on Christian McCaffrey, and Christian McCaffrey didn't have a great game. That Super Bowl, he had a touchdown, obviously, but it's hard when you rely so much on one player. The Eagles are different to that Niner team, but I do think they will rely on Saquon a lot. I think Saquon will continue to be that dude. He will continue to have a big game. He's going to do everything in his power to win this game. This is why he came here. His first season with the Eagles will obviously continue to be like a big milestone for him. A big like, fuck yeah, that was a great decision for me. It's kind of tough though. Like I want to pick the Eagles. I do think the Eagles have a better offense. They have a lot more stars on their team. I think Jalen Carter and Chris Jones are both problems on the defensive line for either team. So it'll be a tough one. There's a lot of questions around the Eagles' offensive line. I know Cam Jurgens was hurt. I know Lane Johnson kind of got banged up that last game too. And that's not what you want to see when you're headed into the Super Bowl. Like I said, they have 2 weeks to recover. Hopefully that does happen. They are healthy, and hopefully it's a great match. I do think that Patrick Mahomes and what it means to the Chiefs might edge them, unfortunately, in this game. I'll hold my hands up. I want the Eagles to win. I'm a hater. It is what it is. I think most people are. But obviously, besides the fact that I hate the Chiefs and I don't want to see them win again, I like Jalen Hurts a lot more than I like Patrick Mahomes. I like A.J. Brown way more than I like DeAndre Hopkins. I like Saquon more than I like Kareem Hunt and Samaje Perine and Isaiah Pacheco. There's just a lot of players on that Eagles team that I want to see win. They have a lot of those dudes that you're like, man, I want to see that guy raise that Lombardi trophy. Kind of like Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp for me, where it was like, man, if those guys ever get their hands on that trophy, it's going to be a great day for Rams fans and football fans alike. Just because they're big name players, they succeed, and you want them to continue to reach that pinnacle of success, right? Kind of like Lamar Jackson. A lot of people have that same feeling for Lamar Jackson because he has so many MVPs. He's done so much to kind of switch the game up of football. People have a different outlook of what you can be as a football player. Quarterbacks just don't just throw now. They run, and they're kind of a glorified running back, if you want to say something like that. But, it elevates the game, and you want to see players succeed that deserve it. And that's kind of what it boils down to for me. I do think the Chiefs win. I do think that level of they see it. They have the vision of, man, the three-peat is right there. All I have to do is go out and grab it. Obviously, there's somebody in their way, but I do think that the Eagles are a juggernaut, and I do think that want to have a three-peat is bigger than what the Eagles have as far as wanting it goes. I think the Chiefs just want it more. I do think the Chiefs win. I think it'll be a close game. I have like a 10-point game or 10-point win for the Chiefs. Hopefully Jalen Hurts doesn't fumble. Hopefully, that one he had against the last Super Bowl against Nick Bolton where he fumbled the ball led to a touchdown. Hopefully he doesn't have nothing like that. I do think my prediction, Saquon has a big game. He does everything he can to race his team to victory. It won't be enough. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs get their three-peat. It'll have like Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift go out onto the field. Travis is going to propose. He's going to announce his retirement. And that'll be that end of an era for him. And I think it'll be the same kind of song and dance for the Chiefs, right? We're going to Disneyland. Three-peat. Roger Goodell super happy about it. Super high retention rate. A lot of high viewership. I think this will be the biggest Super Bowl ever watched because of the three-peat. And that's kind of what the NFL that's kind of what it boils down to for a lot of companies, a lot of organizations and franchises or leagues is that viewership, money. That's what people want to see. That's what kind of makes it happen. Not to say that it's rigged, but it's definitely, favors a team more than it favors another. So there you have it. I have the Chiefs winning by 10. If you guys did enjoy the video, again, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.